People are making thousands of dollars by selling coloring books on Amazon that they made using AI. In fact, I've done exactly the same, and as you can see on screen, one of these books has made me over $6,000 this year so far. But unfortunately, it's not as simple as making any old coloring book using AI and then just watching sales roll in. There's a couple of really important steps that you need to take in order to make sure your book that you create actually sells. So in this video, I'm going to explain exactly what those steps are and show you how to use AI to create coloring books that actually sell on Amazon. So as you can see on Amazon, and I'm going to walk you through exactly what most people do wrong when they start creating these kinds of coloring books and expect to sell them on Amazon. They'll type in something like bold and easy coloring book or coloring book for adults, just a really generic and broad term, and look at the books that are selling really well. So as you can see here, all of these are really popular books that are selling extremely well. As you can see, this book is currently ranked 61, has a bestseller rank of 61, which means it's the 61st best-selling book on the entire of Amazon. So this book is literally doing 20, 30,000 plus profit every single month just on its own. The reason being is that it's by someone called Coco Wire, who have kind of established themselves as like the leader in this bold and easy coloring book design. So what a lot of people will do when they come to Amazon KDP, they'll see this book doing really well, this one, they're all by the same person. They'll just go ahead and copy it, upload it, and expect it to do equally as well. But the problem is, if someone wants a coloring book like this, they're going to go to this person. They're already competing against way too many people who are trying to do the same things. That's the big first mistake that so many people make. They see a book that's doing well already, and they just assume they can recreate it and have exactly the same success. It's not as simple as that. What you need to do instead is look at books that are currently selling well and think, how can I put my own twist on this and make an alternative version of this that still captures that same amount of demand? And here's exactly what I mean by doing that. So I've just typed in dog coloring book onto Amazon. Now, as you can see, this is a niche that's got quite a lot of competition. Over 6,000 results come up off the back of it, but some of these books are actually selling really well. And here's the big mistake that a lot of people make. Someone will look at this and type in dog coloring book and have an idea for, a dog coloring book. It's one of the oldest niches and quite a popular thing amongst people who start KDP. And they'll see a book like this that is doing really well. As you can see, it has a ranking of 9,421 in books. This basically means it's the 9,421st best-selling book on the entire of Amazon. And if I go over to this calculator here, which I will leave linked down below in the description if you want to go ahead and check that out, it basically takes a bestseller rank of a product on Amazon and shows you what that basically translates to in terms of money. So if I go ahead and put this ranking into the calculator, press calculate sales, this book here is selling 26 units a day. And when I put in the information about the book, it is making the creator $1,684 every single month in passive income. So someone who comes here will look at this and think, oh, dog coloring books must sell really well. What I'm going to do is make a dog coloring book as well, because if theirs is selling great, then mine will as well. But the problem is so many other people have had that idea, and the market is now just flooded with loads of different dog coloring books. Now, is there demand for dog coloring books? Absolutely, because some of these are selling really well, but the demand only goes so far if the competition is also extremely high. So this is the mistake a lot of people make on KDP. They see one book doing really well, just simply go ahead and copy it, expect it to do the same, and then act surprised when it doesn't make any sales. What you actually need to do differently is understand how this kind of whole process works. People searching and buying dog coloring books want some kind of dog coloring book. They type that into Amazon, they know they want some kind of dog coloring book, but they don't specifically know what kind of type. They'll basically type this in, they'll have a browse, and then they'll pick the one that they want. Now, because so many other people are just creating generic dog coloring books like this one or this one, it's very, very difficult to stand out if you're doing that. However, what you need to do is take this overall demand of dog coloring book and then create your own kind of avenue into that demand by producing something completely unique. And as you can see, this is exactly what someone has done here with this dog's dressed up coloring book. Rather than just making a generic dog coloring book, they've made a dog coloring book based around this idea of dogs being dressed up as something funny. So now all of a sudden they are unique. They have differentiated in the market compared to everyone else who's just making these very generic dog coloring books. And the thing is, the same people who would want to buy something like this would also be interested in this. The only difference is now this is the only option they have to buy, whereas if they want a generic dog coloring book, they have all of these other options to buy. So that's kind of the key thing you want to get away with. Take this overall demand, create a product that still serves that demand, but make it unique in some way, because that basically means you now stand on your own and you have no competition for people who want a book like that. So this Dogs Dressed Up book has a bestseller rank of 43,410, which means it is selling less than that market leader, but you're not always going to become the market leader in any niche. 8 sales a day is way better than making no sales a day. And as you can see, this book is still making on its own over $500 every single month. If you make 10 of these, that's 5,000, 100 of them, 50,000 a month. So you can kind of see how you build this up. So it's all about finding demand in a certain niche and then differentiating and creating your own unique product that still ties in to that overall demand. That is the key bit of research you need to do before you even create your book. So for this video, I'm going to take this as an example and show you how to create a book just like this one using AI. So all of a sudden now this is the only book that we're going to be competing against. And as you can see, it has dogs dressed up in, different outfits. And in my opinion, these aren't particularly good coloring pages because they're quite detailed. They look like they're generated by AI. And generally on Amazon, the big trend at the moment is people want bold, easy, simple designs to color in, which these simply aren't. So what I would do in this situation is I would say, okay, well, this is pretty much the only dogs dressed up coloring book that we're competing against. This book here has shown that it converts. So if you make your own dogs dressed up coloring book, because you're only competing against one versus 10 or 20 other books, if you just make a generic version, we could very easily create a better offering of this book and sell significantly more units than this one and take its place in the rankings. And the way we're going to do that is by using images that don't look like they've been produced by AI like these ones. It looks very obvious what they've done, kind of vectorized actual images. Using AI, what we're going to be doing is creating designs similar to this, but make it in a style that's bold, easy, and simple, which is exactly what people on Amazon are actually looking for. And they're going to look more like cartoons rather than they've just been kind of vectorized using AI. So just to summarize, it's not about just creating books that are already selling well. Find books that are selling well. Think about how you can differentiate from that original niche like this one has done. And if you find maybe 1 or 2 books you're now competing against, all of a sudden that is so much more manageable and you can actually overtake these in the rankings. And the way we're going to do that is by producing a significantly better product by using simple designs. So the tool we're going to be using to create this coloring book is a tool called Kittl. Now I will leave Kittl linked down below in the description if you want to go ahead and check it out. I made so many videos of it on my channel. I believe it is by far the best AI generator when it comes to creating things like coloring books for Amazon KDP. Now, the reason why Kittl is so good for Amazon KDP is it's not just an AI image generation software, but you can also create the entire Amazon KDP books within Kittl itself. And on top of this, it's extremely affordable as well. As you can see, the Pro plan is only $15 per month. I'm personally on the Expert plan, but if you want to just give it a go and try it out, I do recommend the Pro plan here. You can use the free plan, but you're very, very limited with how many AI image credits that you get. I would recommend the Pro plan. It's only $15 per month. And if you want to upgrade, you can then invest in the $30 per month one afterwards. And if you use the link down below in the description and the code that you can see on screen, you will also get 25% off your Kittl subscription too. So now you're in Kittl, I'm going to show you exactly how you can create a book from scratch. Now, what you want to do firstly is go and set your dimensions for your template. We want to go for inches because we're going for a square book. So we're going to go 8.5 by 8.5 inches because we want to make a square, bold and easy coloring book. Go ahead and then just press create and it will give you your default artboard. Now remember, in this video, we want to be producing dogs that are dressed up in kind of different uniforms, but we want to do it in a bold and easy design so we can differentiate ourselves from this, which is kind of the only real competitor that we have. So to do that in Kittl, it's extremely straightforward. All you want to do is go over to this Kittl AI button and then go ahead and type in something like dog dressed as a construction worker. Let's just go for that as our first design. And then you want to go ahead and press styles here. And the one we're going to go for here is we're going to go to clip art and then we're going to go ahead and just press cartoon. This is the style that we want to go for. And then we're just going to go ahead and generate image. And as you can see, here is the image that it has generated. So not only is it an extremely high quality image, it's also in a really cool style that's going to be perfect for a coloring book. So now we have our image, we want to go ahead and turn it into a black and white image so we can use it in a coloring book. So what we want to do is go down to vectorize and then just select, I say 5 colors is usually a good amount to go for when you're trying to turn an image like this into just a black and white image. What it's going to do is basically vectorize this image into 5 different colors. And we want to keep the black exactly as it is, make it just an actual complete black, and then change everything else to white. And what this should do now is give us an outline of our black and white image that we can go ahead and just use as a coloring page. So as you can see, here is our first design. It's now in black and white. It's a dog in a construction hat, obviously on a construction site. And that was literally done in, less than 30 seconds. Then all you want to do is repeat this process. So click on the artboard, then just press this duplicate here. And what I actually recommend doing is formatting this correctly. So if you think when you first open a book, the first page you see is going to be a right-hand page, I would generally have that as some kind of introduction page. And then when you turn that over, every single left page, I would leave this blank and then have a coloring page on every single right-hand page. The reason for this is if you're coloring on every single right-hand page, the page behind that, i.e. the left page on the next section, you don't want your colors to bleed through into the next design. So I generally would have every other page just left blank, maybe with a small note to say you're leaving it blank to prevent color bleed through. And then every single right-hand page would have a coloring image. So if you had a 100-page book, you would have 50 dog images in there. So what I would do is I would have my intro page here. Obviously, you actually type something useful and have maybe explain, a bit more about your brand, a bit more about the book, and just introduce people to the coloring book. I would then have this, which is the first left-hand page of the book. I would then go in and put in something like page left blank to prevent color bleed through. And then just to make this a little bit smaller, go ahead and highlight all this text. Move down here and let's make this something like 30. Oh, 302 is not what we wanted. 30. Make this a little bit wider and then drag it into the middle. And then this is going to be our coloring page. If you think when you first open a book, right-hand page is going to be the intro. The left-hand page is going to be this message just to say why the page is blank. And then every single right page is going to be the image. So what I would do is highlight these two artboards, then just press duplicate, and now you have your template to copy, and then you just want to go ahead and make a new image. So let's delete this dog here, go back into our design and say dog dressed as a, let's go for doctor this time, go ahead and press generate image. And as you can see, here's our next dog, going to make him a little bit bigger. And then just do exactly the same thing. Go into vectorize, let's select 5 colors again. You might have to play around with this number here, but generally I find that 5 is the best number. It makes the designs exactly as I want them to be. Keep the black as it is, make everything else white, and let's just see how this looks. Change this one to white. And there is our next image for our book. So as you can see, we've got our construction worker, we've got our doctor, and then all you want to do is go ahead and keep repeating this process until you have, let's just say 50 designs, because that's a decent sized coloring book and it keeps you under 108 pages, which also gives you the best profit margins too. Now, alternatively, what you can do if you want to make even more designs is utilize Kittl's feature called Smart Boards. Now, what this basically does is it takes your initial design and then changes it based on what you want for a prompt. So we could go ahead and say, change this dog to be a rock star. Go ahead and press generate. And as you can see, what this has done is taken this exact design, taken away the fact that it's a doctor and turned it completely into a rock star. So that's how you can do it using something called Kittle Smart Boards. It's entirely up to you which one you want to do, but there's 2 different ways in which you can do that using Kittle. Then when you've got all of your artboards done, simply go into this export button at the top here. Make sure you select this as a PDF and then just press combine all artboards into one file. This would mean all of these just download in one PDF file. Go ahead and press download, and that is literally your entire interior for your dog coloring book done in literally a matter of minutes. So that is how you can use AI to create coloring books that you can then go ahead and sell on Amazon, but crucially, how to do the research correctly before you start making the book to ensure you're only creating books that people will actually buy. Now in this video, of course, I've only shown you how to do the interior of the book. That's because I've already made a video showing you how to then create the cover for a coloring book like this. So if you want to go ahead and check that video out, I will leave that video linked on screen using exactly the same tool as I showed you in this video. But if you have any questions, please do let me know down in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video.